happy today. Oh, and it's a real happy today.
Happy today.
Oh man, and it wasn't just a normal Philadelphia championship, which we have a bunch. This was the dream of I said this to my family. I said this on Twitter a couple of days ago. This is the team that Philadelphia Eagles fans have dreamed about for 40 plus years, where we don't just go in there and win by like 3 points or 7 points or a home run, even we went in and we dominated.
It was like an Omega candle, if you will.
Yes, it was. We dominated.
And they were wearing the green jersey. See how it all ties together?
Yeah. Exactly. And again, I mean, literally from beginning to end, they dominated. Let's thank our sponsors, Quantum Economics, Quantum Expeditions, The Organized Media, and Shieldfolio. Don't forget, we've got, there should be another couple slides coming up, the Shieldfolio discount code. You can scan that QR code and get that little bit of extra off. And basically, it's just a seed phrase book that keeps your seed phrases secret, and no one else, if they actually get the book, can read it unless they have the correct UV light. But yeah, back to the game. Oh man, the best part of the game for me was when Mahomes stuck his bottom lip out when he was like, I was like, oh yeah, it's over, bro. you get it. He knew it then, right then and there. That pick six to Cooper DeJean. Oh my gosh. I was at this place called the Yacht Club. It's not really a yacht club. It's just
it has nothing to do with yachts. There's no water anywhere nearly.
Yeah, there isn't. It's totally landlocked, even though Bend, has the Deschutes River that goes right through it. And the reason why Bend is called Bend is because the river literally bends like 7 times through the city, right? But this is one of the few cool places in town that's not even like a stone's throw from the river. It's like a quarter mile from the river. But I was there, and like the last couple games before the playoffs, lots of Eagles fans. And then the playoffs came. It was like less Eagles fans, and I was like, what the heck? But anyway, Cooper DeJean hit that pick six. I was like, oh my gosh, the white boy got a pick six. Well, come on now. Let's be clear. He is the first CB1 since Seahorn. Since the Giants, bro. That's a long time for no Caucasians to be playing that position. So Cooper DeJean, I don't know if you've seen this kid, but he is one of the fastest white boy.
I was just watching videos of him from high school playing basketball and him dunking, man. The guy has
white boy can jump too.
Yeah. Now, just curious, is he launching a coin soon? Because
I'm sure
everybody's probably launching a meme coin now, so I'm sure he's probably.
Since the president of Argentina just launched one, supposedly.
That is a story right there that just kind of it took me by surprise when I saw it come across my radar, and then I'm like, oh goodness gracious, please don't let this be true. And then you find out a little bit more in the details of who's involved and some of the activity behind it. So you can't really. I think that Milei might have not had all the information when he agreed to do all of this. And thank you, Nick, for pulling this up. Because
I think he might have got the Libra from Facebook confused with this Libra, conflated the two.
He might have been drinking a Chupa Libra.
Yeah.
The Chupa Libra. He might have been having one of those.
And then he got attacked by Chupa Libre.
Chupa Libre. Comes in a can. The malt liquor beverage, very popular in South America.
Again, I saw some of the videos last night of people who lost their whole life savings. I get it if you lived in Argentina and you got rug pulled. That makes kind of sense to me. If you're an American following the Twitter feed of Milei for crypto trading like signals, put down your crack pipe. Put down your Chupa Libre. And like literally, like, what are you smoking, dude? Like, I literally told a guy just 2 weeks ago, do not put 250K. I think we might have even talked about it. I think it was on the show that you had just missed. I was like, do not do this. Do not put $250,000 in the XRP. And he put it in when it was like 350. And where is it at right now? So he's down exactly like I said he would be.
I haven't
So
looked at the
if I
markets
tell
this
you
morning.
not to put $250,000
I just woke
into
up, but I just
XRP,
cleaned the
why
cat
would you
box and
put
made some coffee.
$250,000 into this Libra?
Any celebrity meme coin is just
Yes, again,
garbage.
we've discussed
It's
this
just
as a
stupid.
team
Why?
for like 7 months. Do not invest in any celebrity coins, whether they're the president of our country, the president of Argentina, the president of Australia, or that's a prime minister, sorry. But anyway, the point being is I don't care if it's Jerry Garcia reincarnated, Jesus himself reincarnated.
They already have
Do
Jesus
not,
coin.
yeah, there already is multiple Jesus coins. Do
Yeah.
not invest in those. The new one is Demon Coin. Don't invest in that one. I just saw that one. Yeah, kid you not. I saw this guy like, oh, I invested all this money in it. Yeah, watch your money go pew, because that's what's going to happen. The only
I have
thing.
this.
Go
I have
ahead.
this theory that that the meme coin market, we're going to see this just continue to explode, especially on chains like Solana with the new administration coming in, regulations and everything with the SEC. And to me, we've kind of gone over this. It's different verticals. That there's Bitcoin, then there's probably some altcoins with utility, and then there's meme coins. And I look at it like scratch off lottery tickets for folks who are disadvantaged, low income folks, right? Those are the folks who really go and they buy and they spend a lot of their money on trying to get rich quick, right? They will buy scratch off lottery tickets. And I just saw a whole story on CBS News about this. They did a whole documentary about this. And I think that the meme coin phenomenon is very much in that same type of mindset. Hey, you know what? I can't afford 100K or whatever it is to get one full Bitcoin. So you know what? I'm going to spend $10 on, whatever, cum rocket or whatever token you want that's the popular meme coin of the moment, and hope to get rich and hope it pumps. And it's gonna be a losing scenario. And people don't understand because they have this unit bias around Bitcoin. We need to do better and educate why it's important to stack sats and the importance of what I think a lot of us in the community, we say stack sats. And some of us get it, but I think a lot of folks outside still don't even know what the hell a sat is. Like, what's the sat? What do I do? What am I stacking? A sat?
It's
What?
100 millionth of a
Right.
Bitcoin. So
And I don't want to sound like I don't want to sound condescending, because there are some people on the app that I think that I've seen over time who are analysts and they're very popular, but they just come across as dicks. Like, you're just a dick, dude. Like, why do you got to be negative? And like, that's just not how people are going to want to learn. They're not going to want to consume your content if you come across as a dick.
they're dicks and or they lie, right? They're scammers.
Well, that
Even
too.
in like
Yeah.
the big news of the weekend is PlanB just
Yeah, I
came
saw
out
that.
and pulled a British HODL move. We were just talking about British HODL doing this shit, right? Not even one episode
I wasn't
ago.
I wasn't saying anything about anybody. You can draw your own inferences to
Oh
whatever
yeah,
you
I
want.
was. Okay.
I'm not saying anything about
I
anybody.
was saying that
That's why
literally
you're spicy.
well, again, look, I tell people be very careful about who you follow in this space, because a lot of these people are going to lead you down a primrose path, right? And here's another example. Look at what he's saying. I transfer all my shit to the ETF. And this is, good for him. And, the pros for him is it's easier to manage. Like he said, I read the article, like it's like bonds, stocks, equities, and bonds. But I disagree with him, because if the market like takes a huge upturn at Friday night at 1 a.m., right, going into Saturday morning, what are all the ETF people going to do? Oh, I just got to wait till Monday, 9 a.m. I'm good to go.
Well, they can't do it tomorrow because it's a holiday. So
yeah, and that's another thing. It's a holiday on Monday. So if it pumps tomorrow, which it should have pumped today, right? Let's
I was kind of thinking, I'm looking here 97 at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I have the hash rate chart pulled up.
Yeah, we just hit a new all-time high too.
Yeah, I mean, the new all-time high on Coin Wars was just the other day. Actually, it was the second. Oh, sorry,
Mhm.
let me hit refresh. So this was the all-time high right here, and it is kind of trended down because it takes an average when the after we get all this other post data that comes out. But the all-time high, I think, was like almost 1.077, so almost 1.1 zettahash. Yeah, there it
Yeah.
is on
Yep.
February 2nd. And that's a huge number. And as you can see, the chart up here is like we're going to into zettahash, right? Like that's about to be the norm. Excuse me. Get a little water. Uh but yeah, so I mean, usually within about 14 days after we have a huge bump in hash rate, it's usually about 14 to 16 days we see a movement in the price follow suit. So we should have seen that sometime between Friday and today, and we're not seeing that. But again, this is why, like I said, this is the downside to putting all of your uh Bitcoin into the ETF position, right? Because you don't
I'm
control the
having hard
keys.
I'm having with your audio, Gerald. Having issues with your audio. I don't know if
Oh,
your
crap.
internet's cutting out or yep. See, did you start talking crap about people and then they shut your internet down, Gerald, and then you get my account flagged, and then I can't go live on my account
Oh,
because you bring so much spicy hot takes.
Nick's saying it's you.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah. Nick's saying it's your internet because he's saying I'm
My
coming
internet's
through.
fine.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've
that's
got
what
I've
he
got an
just texted me.
Ethernet connection here, man. I've got an
I
Ethernet
don't know
connection.
then. I can't. It's out of our hands.
All right.
He said you're freezing a bit,
Well,
Matty.
can do then. Sorry.
All right, my bad. So again, the energy usage of Bitcoin is still on the rise. We're not seeing like in the last bull run, let me just go back to the chart and pull out let's go to a 3-year. Boom. The last time it did a huge pullback was you can't even see it anymore. It's crazy. All time. Yeah, it was here. This is the great China migration right there. So look who we are today. Holy moly. That's crazy. And
Yeah.
that's today's topic. Today's
One thing
topic
to
of
consider
discussion.
about
Yeah.
I think one thing to consider though, you're talking about like you're looking at this hash rate and you're expecting a pump perhaps between Friday and Monday. And I think one thing to consider, and I was sharing this conversation online with another gentleman, a really respected account, Dark Side of the Moon, and actually the Fed could be naked shorting Bitcoin and bullion with our currency. And I kind of went through just in a reply back how that is possible. And the US Federal Reserve could suppress Bitcoin's price by leveraging major banks and institutions to flood the market with short positions through futures contracts, ETFs, and OTC trades. And you can share that screen if you have it there, Nick.
Oh yeah. But again, they're playing a very dangerous game. And if they are on the losing side, which many billions of dollars have been wiped out in the last 6 months from people shorting and longing Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin is in these volatile periods, like we've discussed many times, it likes to just boom. It likes to take out the shorts and then boom, here it'll take out the longs at the same time. And again, if the Fed is doing this, yeah, be very careful there, J Pal. There's lots of bears that have been totally taken out over the last year playing this very dangerous game of chicken with Bitcoin, where they get really profitable, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm going to risk this, 6 figures on this short position, and then poof, it's gone. And again, I've seen it happen many, many times. People lose millions of dollars doing this. So JPal, good luck. If you're doing this and recommending this. Did you guys also see?
Yeah, and then the other big story, obviously, when the world's largest sovereign wealth fund actually comes out and announces, "Hey, guess what? We're buying Bitcoin. We bought Bitcoin." They filed it on their 13B filing or 13F filing. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, again, we're going to start to see more and more of this come to fruition, right? The Bitcoin game theory playing out in real time. We still haven't. We've only heard that one sentence from David Sachs, or a few sentences talking about the strategic Bitcoin reserve. But I mean, let's just talk about it. I mean, yeah, here it is. Abu Dhabi's saying they're going to invest or already have bought 436 million in BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. And again, the ETF is great. It is easy. It makes Bitcoin easy for a lot of the upper echelon and market makers in the traditional space. But again, if Bitcoin, like let's just say tonight, Bitcoin went to $250,000, all those ETF people cannot make a move, right? You can't make a move until Tuesday morning, right? If you're really fortunate, you might be able to make a move because you got some back channels with the OTC desk. Maybe Monday night you're getting out of some of your position because it went up 150%, right? Or 152 or whatever. The point being is this is why we don't recommend the ETF, right? You buy your own Bitcoin and you put it into your own cold storage. And again, if a ledger or Trezor is too complicated for you, I always tell people Ballet is real easy, a lot simpler. You don't even have to plug the sucker in. That's my favorite feature. You don't even have to plug it in, right? It's all boom right there. You do have to keep it secure. So I tell people, you
Shieldfolio, keep it secure. Get that Shieldfolio. Put your
just
keywords
like
in there.
Shieldfolio, you want to keep that thing secure as well. You want to put that in your safe.
The news breaking on Friday really was no surprise to me about sovereign wealth funds, Gerald. I think as far back as last year and as little as 2 weeks ago, I was sounding the alarm. Why do I get the feeling that sovereign wealth funds are smash buying this dip right now? This was from March of last year, and then just earlier in February. This is why I keep receipts retweeting the same thing, saying, yeah, even more so now, you think. And then obviously 2 weeks later, here we go. We have the news coming out of Abu Dhabi, the world's largest sovereign wealth fund. So again, I keep receipts.
Yes, and rightfully so.
Just saying.
This is definitely, you're correct. We're going to see more and more of this. Like I said, I think last year, even with these sovereign wealth funds, we're going to see,
yes,
1%er smash buy.
Are sovereign wealth funds buying the ETF? Yes, they are buying the ETF. They bought BlackRock.
Yes.
Why are they not buying Bitcoin? Because it's probably easier for them to buy through the BlackRock ETF. Much easier, and as far as custodial issues, I would imagine as well with a sovereign wealth fund, they probably can't custody of that themselves or don't have the wherewithal. So,
yeah,
that'd be why.
they trust the ETFs. And again, we're with you, Inspire. That
and I wouldn't be surprised to see that through the ETFs. Eventually, you're probably going to get some yield.
Oh, why are they buying the iBit one? Because they're going with, they're going with the big boy. I mean,
yeah, it's like, would you rather drive a Hyundai or a Bentley? It's like, it's brand recognition. You've got like the biggest asset manager in the world. You can go with them, or you can, go.
Technically, yeah, they're going with the most volume. Obviously, they're looking at that. In my opinion, it doesn't matter because like out of the dozen or so, like 9 or 10, they're all held by Coinbase. So Why wouldn't you just buy some on Coinbase and hold it on Coinbase, right? Like, that's even better than the ETF, in my opinion. But that's what they're going to do. That's their choice. It's their money. That's the way they feel comfortable with it. It probably comes down to regulatory, just like Matty was saying as well. It's not just ease, it's also compliance issue thing. And we get that. But again, as
Well,
real Bitcoiners,
I don't
if
think
the
that
markets move on the weekends, you got to sit on your hands.
I don't think
That's
that
how it
BlackRock
is.
custodies their Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken. They have a third party, and off the top of my head, I
Yeah,
want
they're working on that. I mean, they're all supposed to be. That's all
the
supposed to be
only
happening.
one who self custodies their own Bitcoin through an ETF is Fidelity. I know that for a
Yeah,
fact. I believe
that's it.
everybody else.
Fidelity is the only one that holds their own corn. Everyone else uses a third party. It's either
Either
Coinbase
Coinbase,
or
yeah,
Gemini.
right.
But again, I think, we should be seeing a pump, and then we should be seeing a pump in the first week of March as well at some point, because that's when the ETF money gets settled. And
Coinbase.
again, more and more. Yeah, Coinbase is their custodian, correct? The IBIT one. But yeah, again, we don't recommend this. We recommend get your own corn, right? And hold it yourself. You know what's funny is off topic. Corn on corn on crypto Twitter and that word corn on TikTok mean completely different things.
I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole.
You don't want to go down that rabbit
I
hole.
don't know. I don't think
But
I want
it
to
is
know.
hilarious. You have time, go figure it out. Anyway, yeah, we love corn. TikTok, we don't like corn. um, so let's get into the show's today's topic. It's
Yeah, we're like
energy.
30 minutes in and we haven't even.
Yeah, we haven't got to the topic, but it's because we're excited and we're talking about all these other cool things, man. We're
That's
talking
right.
about the sovereign wealth fund, Abu Dhabi buying corn.
The
Um,
Eagles.
Eagles, they're buying corn. Oh, did you hear that? Technically, yeah. Saquon Barkley was
Yeah,
hanging
I
out
know.
with,
Yeah.
was hanging out with
Jack and
Jack and Jack.
Jack and Jack. Yeah.
Double Jack.
Yeah.
He's getting some corn. He was wearing a Satoshi shirt as well
People are
when he
saying
was
they
hanging
want the
out.
topics, Gerald. They want the topics. The people want the alpha. They
Yeah,
want
we
your
want
hot,
the
spicy
topics.
takes.
So
They want
the
your hot,
topic today
spicy
is
takes.
was that it? I think that was a Jalen Hurts commercial behind me. Nice, love Hurts. So today's topic's energy, 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 and
Mm.
what does that mean? Well, let's be very clear. As we go into this golden age of which we've been talking about for some time, the decade of commodities. Um, Energy usage is just going to continue on this huge uh, hockey stick. There's only two hockey stick charts I tell people in the world, right? One's Bitcoin and the other is global energy usage. It's not going anywhere. It's going to keep going up. I brought up some data so we can check this out. Let me see. So this is one. All right. So this is a cool little one. Let me see if I have it. This is literally terawatt hours they just have from 1989 till now. The cool
Mhm.
thing is you can hit benchmark countries and we can just take a look. Let's just take a look at the US. Boom. And we'll just take a look at that for a moment. So you can see just from 89 till it looks like we got almost 2022 in here. It is kind of flatline. We've actually brought it back down a few years here and there, but it is still trending up, right? You can see that this
Okay.
trend is going in this direction, right? Obviously, it's a little more shallow than that, but it's heading in that direction. If we can
What does
clear
that
this,
mean, do you think? What does that mean? For me as an investor, for me in the market, what does that mean?
so as an investor, it means that you should be looking to energy production companies, right? Across the globe, right? These companies aren't going to go anywhere. Um, Hydroelectric, and we'll take another look at this. And you know what? Let's take a breather, and we'll get back to that table that just for a second. So here's China. Just look China's usage from 89 till now. Notice a
Mm,
pattern. Yeah. Woo. So let's go up to here. And this is why I wanted to table that just for a second, is to show you the global trend from 1990 till now. And a chart will come up here on the right, as you'll see. But this is very fascinating.
wow. Okay.
And I want you to notice that when we
Mhm.
get into right around, I think it's like the 2010s, China starts to take over. And
Mhm.
you can see our energy usage was actually reducing over the last 10 years. But look who's just doubled. Yeah, did you see that by the end?
Wow.
Yeah, how much China was up to? They were almost up to what is after a terawatt? Oh my gosh, is that a petawatt? It might be. Um, I'm not 100% sure on
You know,
that one,
one
but
thing that I find really interesting to kind of substantiate your graph there on China, um, out here, where we live, we can see all these trains, these freight trains loaded with coal, and they're headed north to Vancouver, Canada, out to Tawasin, and there's a terminal out there, a coal terminal, where then they take all of that coal and they send it to China. So if you really want a solid fundamental piece of fundamental analysis, just looking at the sheer volume of freight trains that are going north, right, with coal for China shows you that China's production and their energy consumption is still at an all-time high. I mean, I see these trains go by and they have not stopped. The only time they slowed down a little bit was during the pandemic.
so since you brought that up, there is a total energy one, and this is a really interesting web page. You can definitely check it out. It's called Enter Data. Um, Total energy, and then very similar to this. Oh wait, come on. And MTO stands for mm, millions tons of oil equivalent. So I just wanted to throw that out there because that's what it's using. But since you brought up coal, oh wait, wrong one. It's the one below this one. Where is it? Oh. Sorry, I thought this was it. Oh, here we go. So coal is the brown, and we're still using 37%. Oil, we're using 39%.
Mhm.
Electricity is at 13%. So again, most of the energy consumption, and I don't know why this one chart isn't coming up where it was showing you like the amounts used. Let me try and refresh it again. Yeah, she's doing the MTO. I can't find. I had one that was showing me like, you know, the different types of energy that they were using. I can't find it. Darn it. But the point being is total global energy consumption. Let me switch to this one. And this is the one. And the total primary energy unit is something that's based off of something. Basically, if you read under here, it says or indexed to the year 1920, and that's probably when they initially started to actually track energy usage, because we actually at that point had somewhat of a grid at that point, and people were using it on a daily basis. But the point is this is basically the electrification of the United States from 1920 to 2021, and you can see the same thing is that energy usage is not going anywhere.
Right.
And if we go back to this chart and we go back to electricity and we go to production, the one thing I really wanted people to see was this right at the end, right? Oh, it's going to jump. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Pause. And that's where we're at right now. China is literally using double the amount of energy that the United States is using. And again, globally, we're all going to keep on this trend because of AI, because of Bitcoin, because of data centers, because people like their smartphones and their tablets and their electric vehicles. And now, even if you don't have an electric vehicle, your new car has tons of electric features, right? It's like a smart car. So, again, global energy consumption is just going to keep on this trend like this because we love technology. Let's be very clear. All these
The
people that
AI is going to continue to gobble up energy. The demand for energy is just going to continue to skyrocket. And I think the advancements when it comes to small modular reactors in the nuclear field, companies that are leading that forefront. I've done an extensive deep dive on that. Those are the ones that I think we're going to see a lot more of these smaller modular reactors being deployed across the country and around the world. And hopefully
yeah,
that will
and
help to bring down energy costs. And what does that mean for miners as well? Boy, that's a whole other exciting opportunity. I don't know what the cost will be if you wanted to buy a small modular reactor, but they will be available for purchase. That's for sure.
oh yeah, definitely. I totally agree. Sorry, I was getting something came up in the chat. Um, I wanted to share this one as well, just showing when we get into AI. People always want to bring up Bitcoin energy usage, but most people aren't aware AI uses more water and energy than Bitcoin. And here it is right on the screen. AI currently uses more water and energy than Bitcoin, as AI data centers are generally larger and more widespread, contributing to a higher overall energy consumption compared to Bitcoin mining operations. The other thing is, I found this article. Let me pull this up. AI may already use more power than Bitcoin, and it should say, and it may threaten Bitcoin mining. As you could see by the hash rate charts we were just looking at, that's not the case, right? It's not threatening Bitcoin's mining right now because we're hitting a zettahash, bro. Let's be clear. And I don't think it's going to. Do I think it will compete? Maybe in the short term, but I think Bitcoin is so decentralized, this doesn't matter, right? We have so many miners globally. Most of them in the United States are in Texas, but still tons of miners in Pennsylvania, Ohio, California. They're all over. And if you've seen the Bitcoin strategic reserve map, that orange is starting to spread from coast to coast. It's only a matter of time before one of these governors signs their bill into law and they start stacking sats.
That's the thing, right? I feel like it's really great to see that map and it's encouraging. But they're bills right now. And I just remember from Schoolhouse Rock, I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill, you know? And
Yeah.
Nick, I'm gonna have to pull that up. I'm gonna pull up the YouTube. I'm gonna find the YouTube
Go ahead, pull it up.
of that, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's
Schoolhouse
great.
Rock. It is great, man.
I mean, it's great to see that, but until it becomes a bill, becomes a law, Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah. So basically, it's got and this is how basically I'm going to explain it before we play it. And it works at the state level, at the federal level, where it's got to be a pass in the House, and once it passes the House, it goes to the Senate. Once it passes the Senate, then it's passed in both houses. Then it's presented to the executive. At the state level, that's the governor. At the federal level, that's the president. And there you go. And once that's done, then it's officially law. But here you go. Schoolhouse Rock. Let's rock it.
Let's see. Do I have it? I can't. Hold on a second. There we go. My mouse is not working yet. My mouse froze.
Your
I
mouse
gotta put new batteries in my mouse. I gotta put new batteries in my mouse. All right, here you go.
Woo, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was an idea. Some back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen.
That looks like Mitch McConnell. On the left, that looks like Mitch McConnell.
It totally does.
The hell?
A little bit more plump, but definitely.
Yeah. Oh, Mitch McConnell over there.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far.
See?
I hope they decide to report on me favorably. Otherwise, I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. How I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill. He signed your bill, now you're a law. Oh, yes.
All right. See, so that is what really
They
needs
don't
to
explain that
happen.
ending. They don't. And that's a big ending and a plot twist that needs to be explained right there, right? So that's not
Okay.
that wasn't the president, right? That was a Congress person coming out. You're a law. So how does that happen? The bill goes back and they can undo the veto, right? If 2/3 of the House votes, they can pass it as a law. And that's what happens at the end, because the congressman, you're a law. The only way that can happen is Congress and House 2/3 votes it. Shoo, then it becomes, they can basically annul the veto, right? So that's what happened at the end. But
You sure he didn't get
that's,
how do you know he didn't get signed by the president? How do you know that?
what's that?
How do you know he didn't
Because
get
it
signed by
wasn't,
the
they were in the
president?
White House. They were Congress. They were back at
Oh,
they were
because he got
back at the
vetoed and he got sent back to Congress.
That's correct. Capitol Hill. He was sitting at Capitol Hill. So yeah.
So that's what
matter.
needs to happen to get all these Bitcoin bills into law. This is what you just saw right there. That Schoolhouse rock from the 70s, that needs to happen. It's great that they're a bill, but they're not a law. And until we get them to be laws, it's a little hopium. I mean, that's great. It's encouraging. We haven't seen this before.
Hold on, let me see if I can find. Give me a sec.
But I really want to see this. You know, it's like, hey, your team's moving down the field and you're within field goal range, but you're not getting in the red zone. You're not putting it in the end zone. You know, we can move the ball between the 20s, which is great, but can you get it in the red zone and score? And hopefully the country will do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but give me a sec.
No, obviously Dennis Porter and the Satoshi Action Fund have been doing.
Yep, there it is. Okay. So let me share that tab and let me pull up the big version.
That's an old map right there.
This is?
Yeah, that one's old. Oregon's on there already. There's like 27 states.
Oh, yeah.
27 states. Even liberal Oregon, your state.
Yeah, I know. Which I was like flabbergasted. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, 27 states right now. So over half.
Oh yeah, there it is. But there's the current version. But the reason why I was looking at the the other one. No. Oh, dang nabbit.
$500 miles of energy? What? We're talking about energy. Why don't you just open one of those cans, Gerald, and you're good to go? Talking about energy.
Yeah, why this one was important is because Utah, I wanted to point out that Utah is literally in its committee. It's the furthest ahead, right?
It's the furthest ahead, right.
And it looks like here we can already see it died in North Dakota, right? And in Wyoming. Wow, I'm surprised by Wyoming. What happened, Wyoming? You're supposed to be smarter than that. I guess maybe because Wyoming already has all these Bitcoin laws. That kind of makes sense.
I think Wyoming's already orange, if I'm not mistaken. They're on the map.
Yeah, it's already orange. So I guess that's they're going with that.
I think you're mistaken. Wyoming and Colorado, they're on the map because they're very close to one another.
Well, I'm looking at, if you look at the Bitcoin laws.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it got shut down. And like I said, the reason might be is that the Congress people and senators in Wyoming already feel like they have enough legislation to protect, Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin rights in the state of Wyoming.
When you've got the great senator whose last name rhymes with hummus.
Lummis.
Yeah,
you got Senator Lummis. And they do have multiple laws on the books, right? Protecting mining, protecting custody, etc. So that's why I guess that happened. But Utah looks like they are the most ahead. This is where we want to see, right? That final column where the B shouldn't be on the map until until it gets to here. Once it's there, then that means, they're about to buy Bitcoin, right? Once it's enacted, that means they're on the board. And we're getting there. We're getting there. But 27 states, we're more than 50% of the states are literally on the board, right? So the map we were talking about right here, and there's more and more orange by the day. Good job, Dennis. Thank you so much. Because this, we want to be an orange country, right? And that's where we're headed. I'm surprised Alaska is slacking, and Hawaii, since Hawaii's been very pro Bitcoin since like 2021.
If the state of Hawaii got any inclination to take a page out of the Bukele playbook, man, they've got themselves some geothermal volcanoes over there, right? Hey,
exactly. They
state
could
lawmakers
be,
in Hawaii, why don't you hook
they
up
could
some
be
ASICs
exactly
to your volcanoes and start mining on the state level?
And then to the converse of that, go to Alaska. Alaska's got tons of oil, tons of coal, tons of all these fossil fuels where they waste energy, right? All these production levels, right? Where we talk about LNG, we're talking about petroleum itself. There's always flare, right? There's always waste at some level, whether it's coal, LNG, solar, wind, right? They all waste energy. And when we're speaking about back to Alaska, you guys got tons of oil up there, and there's tons of methane flare that you're just wasting, right? To the governor of Alaska, are you listening? You could be capping that flare. You guys are giving out checks. Here's a thing that most Americans don't realize. You live in Alaska, you get
I think
a
they stopped
kickback
that
from
though.
the oil companies.
I think they stopped that, Gerald.
They stopped the oil incentive in Alaska.
I believe, yes, I believe. Let me just ask my good friend Chat GPT over here. But I have relatives that live in the capital, and I believe that those stipends and those dividends, if they have not been cut, have been drastically and significantly reduced over time. Yeah. Let me just ask Chat GPT, my good friend.
I don't see that.
I guess still receive payments through oil revenue through the Alaska Permanent Fund dividend.
Yep.
The 2020. Okay, so this is a little bit older. So it's about $1,300 per person.
Yeah, it's not huge.
Right.
It's not huge, but where I was going with that is that you start capping some of this methane and hooking up Bitcoin mining to these wasted energy projects, and then next thing you know, you have more money to give back to the state and to give back in that incentive program, right? You can expand that incentive program. Instead of you getting dollars, you could get Bitcoin, or you could get a mix of both, right? You get some cash and you get some corn on the side. But again, Governor of Alaska, are you listening? You're literally just wasting money every day. You do not act on this, right? Facts.
A little more research here on the Alaska dividend oil money.
But yeah, so
the amount has been going down though dramatically from 2022 to 2023. I don't see what it was here in 2024, but anyways. Yeah.
And that's the other thing in the other states where they use wind, right? Wind and solar. And like I live in a county uses a lot of solar. There again, is tons of opportunity for Bitcoin miners to hook up to these projects. And when you're in those months where the solar panels are still generating tons of energy, but it's early spring, right? So it's 50s and 60s, and most people aren't using their AC, and most people aren't using their heat anymore. It's literally Bitcoin mining season, right? For wind and solar at those points. And again, Bitcoin is the carbon credit, it's the transmission credit, it's the distribution credit. It is anything you need it to be when you need it to be. And all of these states are going to figure it out. And the faster they figure it out, right? There's what, Fort Worth, Texas, right? They're already mining and have been doing it for, I think, for 3 or 4 years. They're ahead of the game. This is why Texas is a leader in the space. They found out, not every single miner in Texas heard about this story, but many did. And now Texas is the hub of Bitcoin mining in America, right? This is just a fact.
Yeah. Texas is leading the charge in lots of areas as well. Just to circle back to your point about Alaska, a little more research I'm finding here, that there are just some massive electricity costs in Alaska. You've also got isolated energy grids, and having been there, they do have a little bit of limited infrastructure. You know what I mean? And then you've got, harsh conditions, logistical challenges, and then just, regulatory and political uncertainty. Does again, that speaks to your point. Does the governor, do they want to take those steps to build out that infrastructure? Because it's expensive. Even though they've got cold climate and they've got an abundance of energy up there, a lot of it hasn't really been built out for it. And there's a lot of, costs that are prohibitive for miners to go there.
No, I totally understand that, but you have so many positives, right? Energy waste, cold temperatures, right?
But if the dollars don't pencil out, they're not going there, man. If it's cost prohibitive to do it, that's why, if it was cost effective, I think they would be there doing it, don't you? I mean,
I just think that it's not even on the radar.
Oh no, I disagree. I think companies let's just talk about the big mining companies for a second, okay? Let's talk like Hut, Mara, Riot, right? Even CleanSpark. Okay, CleanSpark is a really diverse mining company with sites and operations all over the U.S., but they're not in Alaska, right? None of the mining companies are really active in Alaska. So to me, that tells me that the juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. It just doesn't pencil out for the ROI until we can address some of these issues like limited infrastructure, the harsh conditions, the logistical challenges, the isolated energy grids, and just the high electricity cost in Alaska. Again, that goes back to the whole topic of energy, right?
Again, it's not going anywhere. We're going to see the cost of energy go up before we see Bitcoin bring it down, right? So we've discussed this in many episodes. Bitcoin miners have to become energy producers. Energy producers have to become Bitcoin miners, right? That's why I'm elucidating this point to the energy production companies in Alaska.
I think of Iron right now. They're a Bitcoin mining company. They're also working with energy, and you're seeing a lot of them have like these substations and transformers, nearby. So this is going to continue to explode and evolve in the industry, in the space when it's concerning AI, HPC, Bitcoin mining, whatever. The demand for energy is still going to be high. How do we deal with that? How we meet that to bring those costs down so we can still have a effective society that benefits everybody? I think is that tightrope we're all trying to walk, and how do we thread that needle? We'll see.
And again, it all, I think, is integral on eventually integrating Bitcoin into your economic model, right? If you don't, you're going to struggle with energy, not just energy production and energy costs. You're going to struggle with everything that comes with those inflated costs, right? Whether it comes from food distribution to retail, just moving product, because there's trucks, right? So again, if you're not thinking about integrating Bitcoin into your baseline of your economic model going forward from 2020 going forward, you're going to eventually fail, right?
Yeah.
At some point, you will fail. And it might take 50, 100 years, but you're going to eventually hit that brick wall at some point because you're not adopting that new technology that right now is very necessary for protecting. It also protects us, right? As soon as you integrate Bitcoin into your baseline of your energy production, it starts to, protect your grid, right? Because if you integrate it in a way, very responsibly and smart, then you have Bitcoin security to your grid, right? And this is why I said AI needs to be on the blockchain, right? Because if AI is on the blockchain, then it can't leave, right? It can't escape and do crazy things, right? If let's just use Bitcoin as an example, if you have to pay just a few sats every time you used Chat GPT, well, then we're at another dilemma, right? Do we allow AI, which already happens, to use cryptocurrencies or not? And I say not, right? Because that is like the fail safe between us and total destruction, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But as soon as you add Bitcoin, like just the perfect example is Bitcoin into that model of AI, then the AI can't just go willy-nilly and explode all over it. If it can be contained in one node to the next, right? Like let's just use, I don't know if you're familiar with Holochain. Holochain uses total different security protocols, but basically if a transaction goes from one node to the next, it's literally like almost like your immune system. If the same data doesn't line up, it will reject that, right? And this is why AI needs to be on the blockchain. It can be done the same way, where it has to have the keys. If it doesn't have the keys, it can't get into those systems, right? This is when, when people fear that it could launch all our nuclear missiles. No, it can't do that because you have to have the keys. You don't have the keys, you can't launch, right? It's the same thing. If the AI doesn't have the keys to get access to that data or that information, it's never going to get into that system. So this is why blockchain technology becomes very important. It protects our energy, it protects us against AI threats. It has so many different, very nuanced layers that most Americans have no clue why Bitcoin is important. But there's just a few more important ones.
So I want to shift subjects because we're getting close on time here. Something that happened just over the weekend, and I think that just in light of everything that's going on, and in light of the news of the world's largest sovereign wealth fund coming into the game, the talk of strategic Bitcoin reserves from the state level to a national level, I think that just kind of get your take on this, where we saw the country of India seized 190 million in BitConnect in Bitcoin from BitConnect, right? The crypto fraud,
Wait,
right?
I say that again.
The country of India seized 190 million in BitConnect crypto fraud, right? So they seized who's that guy? Carlos, was it Carlos?
Carlos Mata.
BitConnect. Yeah, I think it was
Carlos
him,
Mata.
right? Yeah.
So what did they get? They got his BitConnect or they got his Bitcoin?
190 million, $190 million linked to the BitConnect Ponzi scheme. Action follows the collapse of BitConnect in 2018, defrauded investors. So my question, as soon as I read this, as soon as I see this, my first thought is, oh, great. So they're going to take that and allocate that into their own strategic Bitcoin reserve in India.
That would be smart, but
That would be
they're not. That would be logical and smart. So that's not what they're going to do.
President Modi just had a big powwow just this past week. You don't think that the topic of maybe Bitcoin might have been brought up? I don't know. India sees 190 million.
He's old school, man.
Crypto cash and luxury cars as well. Okay, I'm seeing more luxury cars.
Yeah. Wow. He's old school. He likes tactile money, man. even though I know they've gone a lot of digital, they've replaced bills over the last so many years.
To me, it just seems like, again, on the heels of the Abu Dhabi news and just strategic Bitcoin reserves being talked about all over. I honestly believe that, you know, Russia and China have been doing this already. They've been stockpiling this. A lot of people already higher up are saying this as well. You know, smarter minds than me. You know,
I don't think India is, but I've been saying
no,
for
I don't think
years.
they are. No, I
Yeah,
don't think
I've been
India is
saying
yet.
for
But I
years
think
that Russia's
this could very well be, again, one of those things like, oh, gee, they just seized these assets. Do you think they're going to turn that and put that into a strategic Bitcoin reserve if there's any Bitcoin?
I mean, I would love that. That would be great.
I don't know. It just popped up here the last
when
5
did that?
hours.
They just got that money?
I'm just seeing the news here being posted over the last 5 hours. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with that. No easier way than to create your own sovereign wealth fund or your own strategic Bitcoin reserve than seizing somebody else's money. You know, oh, you did that illegally. We'll take that. Thank you. Now it's
Yeah. Thank you for
and
that.
now we're going to put this into
I
our
hope
own
they do.
strategic wealth fund. Yeah, there it is. BitConnect. Indian authorities confiscated 190 million. Yeah.
So that was just today.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, wow. So does India, what do they do with those assets that they've seized? Especially, again, I you know, crypto is a big word and it's a dirty word sometimes, but obviously they have digital assets now. What are they going to do with them? Are they going to pull a Germany and paper hand this thing? Or are they going to be smart and be like, we're going to buy some Bitcoin?
I mean, the trend for the Western countries and a few Eastern countries, it has been fumble, right? Fumble. I would be so impressed if Prime Minister Modi just said, smash by 200 mil of BTC. I would love that. I don't think that's happening. I think he's too old school when it comes to money, and he's going to invest it in the infrastructure. If he's smart and he's scared about buying the asset, well, then start your own Bitcoin mining authority, right? Take some of that money, buy some ASICs, hook them up. You guys got plenty of energy waste in your country. I know. Trust me on that one. Go figure out one of your energy companies, whether it's oil, coal, wind, solar, doesn't matter. Find one that's wasting energy and hook up some ASICs to it and pull an El Salvador, right? Like buy and generate, right? That's the way to go. Stack and create. Like if you can do both of those, India would become
let me
the
ask you
number
this.
one country.
You're pretty smart. You play a smart person on the internet. So let me ask you this. The calls for Fort Knox gold to be audited, and we haven't officially audited the gold in Fort Knox since 1974. Why would you, hypothetically, why would you not want the gold in Fort Knox to be audited? You know, why would you not want that, Gerald?
So why you not would not want that is because you don't have what you say you have.
Kind of what happened back in 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard, and all these countries were like, "Yeah, hi, can we get our gold back?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, not happening."
And I know since then we have, I think we've given. Hi, buddy. I think we've given. Oh yeah.
Is your dog's name Broccoli?
No, Blue.
Want some meme coin off your dog now?
Yeah. What were you talking about?
Fast.
Sorry,
These crypto jokes and headlines, man. We tie them together.
I know. We were talking about. Sorry, I totally got distracted by my dog.
Calls for Fort Knox
auditing the gold. Audit. Yeah,
gold audit.
They're not going to do it because the gold's not there. And
it'd be really easy if it was on the blockchain.
Yeah, and that's another reason why all that stuff will be on the blockchain eventually.
Which blockchain do you think? Which blockchain?
I think Bitcoin and Litecoin, and that's it eventually.
Really?
Yeah. I think Ethereum gets used for 10 years. But again, as soon as one country's economy gets destroyed by Ethereum, everyone will run.
Yeah. Well,
Just because they will, right? I think, did we discuss the one? So I had two real world scenarios. Yeah, it was popping off last night. It went up 10% yesterday, I think, to the Inspirer. But yeah, I mean, so the two real world examples were, the one was, right, so I had 1,000 of these tokens on the Binance chain, which is Ethereum virtual machine. And literally, I think it was called Alpaca Finance. And it was like maybe like 50 to 75 bucks worth of these tokens. I opened up my wallet and looked in there, and it was like 300 or 400 bucks. And I was like, oh, okay, well, now it's actually some money. I'll try and get that money back. And when I went in there, I processed, it said, get your rewards tokens first. I was like, okay, did that, sign the contract, do. And then it's like, get your governance token. So I tried to process that transaction. That went through. And I waited. I pulled up the transaction hash ID. I went over. I'm like, there's mine. And go get to the far right in tokens, 0. I was like, great. So my position got erased, right? Because basically I forgot one step. I literally had to go connect my wallet to this new contract because they changed the rules of the old contract. Yeah, exactly. It's just bullshit.
dude,
But
why do you mess around with that stuff, man? Why don't you just buy Bitcoin and buy spot and just hodl it? Why? It's
again,
easier and it's safer.
You ain't got to convince me, dude. I've been slowly matriculating away from Ethereum for over a year now.
Dude, I mean, like, I've got friends who work on Ethereum and on Base and whatnot. And what Coinbase has done is I feel like they've kind of extracted all the value out of Ethereum. That's just me. I'm not a dev. I don't build on. I know folks who do, and they use Base, and God bless them. But I think you're really seeing a lot of the sector pivot away from Ethereum, and a lot of this being implemented and developed on Solana, and maybe even Sui. I think a lot of this is really going to explode, especially in 2025. I mean, Solana's already had a great run, but I mean, they've had one of the best Q4s in the last year and in the history of crypto. You look at just the stablecoin adoption; they've had mammoth increase in stablecoin as well. Then we're talking DePIN and RWA, and then to our point about the gold and auditing the gold and putting it on the blockchain, projects like Ondo, again, tokenizing real world assets. Ondo just had this massive event in New York City. Franklin Templeton was there. You had BlackRock there. You had all the big players, Morgan Stanley. I mean, so when we're talking about, again, tokenizing real world assets, and if you want to have transparency with how much gold is actually there in Fort Knox, chains like Ondo on Solana, or maybe even Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR might be better served to do that, or even Sui, for example.
Yeah, and again, agreed with you. There are other chains that can be utilized. Back to the examples, the other example was this guy bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club. He got it for a good price and then was trying to sell it, and he accepted a 0 bid offer. And he didn't know what that means. So he literally processed the transaction. He probably even paid the gas fees, like literally. That's how big of a noob this person was. But yeah, so he basically got a Bored Ape Yacht Club, put it up for sale, and then it gave it away to somebody, right? So these are things that happen. And then I came up with an example, right? My example was, okay, you take 50 wrapped Bitcoin and you put them into one of these DeFi protocols, and exactly what happened to me happens to you with 50 wrapped Bitcoin. Oh yeah, you just lost all your money because, oh, this smart contract broke. Oops. Now let's ramp it up to like France, right? France has been using Ethereum for bonds and stuff. Let's say they put all their bonds on Ethereum and then that happens. It breaks. And then their whole bond market goes like that. Oopsies. Yeah. So this is why I wouldn't build on Ethereum. That's just me. I would build on a proof of work system like Bitcoin or Litecoin because it's immutable, right? If my position was written on an immutable block, right, it would still say 1,000 coins. And the transaction may have failed, but I would have to just go do it again. And then, oh, there it is, right? But since it's with Ethereum and Ethereum's not immutable, they can change the rules. They can change the rules in the background anytime they want on that smart contract. And if you don't follow the instructions to the T, poof, it's gone. Yeah. Oops.
Oh, your lighting just got better. What did you do?
I know.
You
How
like
weird
magic.
was that? I just went like that and the lighting got better.
Wow. Fantastic.
Magic.
How can you do that to the markets?
Yeah.
Fiat shows that changing the rules works fine.
Yeah. So basically, what is Ethereum showing us? Ethereum is showing us exactly what Nick is saying, is that fiat does the same thing. They can change the rules, right? With the interest rates, they can print more money. They can do all these little tricks behind the scenes that hurts us. It doesn't hurt the banksters, right? But the same things apply. They can change the rules. They can move the end posts and mess with the supply, right? You can't do that with Bitcoin. You cannot do that with Litecoin. That's why I prefer proof of work. That's why the show is called Proof of Work, right? Because it cannot be messed with, right? Ethereum can be messed with.
It's the best answer to when people say, well, what backs Bitcoin? Proof of work. Electricity. The proof of work that it takes to do that, right? More so than the dollar, more so than your meme coin, more so than
your dollar is Ethereum times a million, right? They literally are like, oh, we need some more. There we go. Yeah. It's literally like those little guns of money. Shoot some more money around. You can't do that with Bitcoin. You can't do that with Litecoin. This is why eventually they suck up all the capital in the world.
Is Litecoin going to be the next one to get the ETF? Is it going to be Litecoin or is it going to be Solana?
I think that's the news because that's the only thing that's in positive territory on the week. I think is Litecoin. Everything else has been down. That's what the news keeps saying. So I'm going to say yes.
I mean, you're talking up almost 17% in the last week.
Yeah.
And I think, again, a lot of that is off the is it a buy the rumor, sell the news type of
thing? I don't know. I probably is. It also, I think, is a little of that. But if we pull up Litecoin's, give me a second to pull up Litecoin's hash rate chart.
Let me ask you this as you're pulling this up, because it is a fork of Bitcoin.
It is.
Same proof of work mechanism. Why, though, when we've seen historically Bitcoin continue to post new all-time highs with retracements, yes, okay, we get that, but then it continues to post, higher lows and higher highs. Why hasn't Litecoin followed that same pattern? If it's basically a fork and the same type of thing, why hasn't Litecoin gone back to those all-time highs? Why hasn't it set new all-time highs? And what's keeping it from doing that?
That's a very good question.
Thank you. I have good questions. It's kind of what I
Chat GPT asked me that question a couple of weeks ago. So it has to do with a couple of things, right? So one, oops, almost knocked my water over. One is that Litecoin is used as an actual form of payment. It's the most used cryptocurrency. So that means the HODL time frame.
Well, don't tell the XRP army that. My gosh.
It is. These are facts. You can go Google it. It's the most used cryptocurrency. So the HODL time for most Litecoin holders is much shorter. And we're starting to see that change, right? Because there is rumors of ETF. People are starting to realize that, you know, as Bitcoin gets closer to $1 million, what's Bitcoin's fees going to be at that point? Are they going to be $20? Are they going to be 50? Are they going to be $100? Nobody knows. Yes, Inspire wanted to point out that it doesn't use the
SHA, yeah, okay.
Yeah, SHA-256. You use script, which is way less energy intensive. And
so that's why it hasn't hit a new all-time high then.
Well, yeah, it actually has hit a new all-time high hash rate over the last. Yeah, no worries.
My blood sugar's getting low, man.
We're almost done. But yeah, it actually has hit a new all-time high. As Bitcoin is hitting its new all-time hash rate, Litecoin has as well. And one of my theories was that in prior cycles, a lot of these Bitcoin miners smaller operations would eventually hit that brick wall because of energy cost to production to Bitcoin ratio goes out of favor for them. They just shut down operations. But what we're seeing now is my theory play out, is a lot of these smaller operations are buying Litecoin miners, right? And literally they're mining Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bell's coin, all these script coins they can mine simultaneously, and they're generating more, in some cases, more revenue depending on your operation. We can see this by Litecoin's hash rate. It hit a new all-time high, I think, at the end of January. If I just flip back and scroll down, I think it was like 2.5 petahashes or somewhere around there. Yeah, 2.54 petahashes on January 26th. So we are seeing the same rise in hash rate as Bitcoin. We're seeing a match in that. We're not seeing a match in the price for multiple reasons. Like I said, it's used as a daily cryptocurrency. The miners have been selling a lot. Last year, Grayscale was liquidating out of their Litecoin position because they weren't seeing Litecoin as one of the long-term winners. But over the last 3 months, that has totally changed. Grayscale has been buying hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin over the last, I think, 2 months or so.
You mean Litecoin?
Thank you, Litecoin.
Like, wait
proof of work. Yeah. Sorry. But yes, they're buying tons of Litecoin right now. Let me just see if I can pull that up. Grayscale. Give me a sec.
I think I'm going to start mining Bitcoin Cash. Said no one ever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. My blood sugar. I'm just getting goofy now, dude.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm just getting goofy. I'm going to start mining some Bitcoin Cash and take a real long position on Tether. I'm going to use 100x leverage on Tether. Oh, man. Are you sure that was coffee? What was in this cup? My gosh. That was herbal tea. Well, maybe it was something else.
So, yeah, this article is from September, but this was back in September. They just had added 10,000 BTC to their portfolio. Here, I'll share that article.
Okay.
And then I'll pull up another tab. Let's see.
Oh. Okay. Well. Where are you pulling that from?
That article was from TradingView.
Never heard of them.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Here's another one. And this one.
Why is Bitcoin SV even around anymore? Like,
Again, because
who's using that? Who's trading it? I mean, it's got to be somebody like, are you just day trading and you're scalping, or what? Like, why are you even involved in Bitcoin SV?
yeah, I mean,
How
to
is it
be
even that
honest
big?
with you, I don't know, but
Jeez. Can
give
we
me
get
a
rid of that,
second.
please? Who do we talk to make that go away?
I wanted to pull up, let's see,
Jeez.
charts.
Shouldn't even be in the top 100. My gosh.
So here is now I can't find BSV, but I've got BCH
Yeah.
and let me share this.
Okay. Well,
So
I'm
here,
bullish on American crypto. I'm sorry. I'm bullish on American crypto. Just going to say
here
that.
is the hash rate chart of Bitcoin Cash, and it has gone up just in the last few years. But as you can clearly see, like the highest was when it this is probably the day it hit Coinbase. I kid you not, right? And then right there was
Yeah.
the next day. um, but yeah,
I don't even see a use case for it. I don't know why anybody would want to buy it.
I've
Unless
heard
you're just
lots of scary things over lots of
trading.
orphan blocks. Let me see if I can find any of those articles on orphan
I just
blocks.
don't see like why. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe I need another cup of tea.
So I just pulled this up on I'm just make sure we're looking at
I think altcoin season is dead. I don't think we're going to have one this year. Who killed alt season, Gerald?
well, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin killed alt season.
Satoshi killed alt season. We're going to have the discussion tomorrow night, 6 p.m. on Spaces, Quantum Expeditions.
But yeah, Bitcoin killed the alt season for now, until the Bitcoin dominance drops. Let me just pull up that and we'll wrap it up. Because since you brought up Bitcoin dominance, or technically why altcoins aren't doing well, let's take a look at BTC.
Yeah, it's like 59%.
Yeah,
Ethereum at
that's what I
10
was going
and
to say. It's
others
probably
at
close
30.
to 60%.
Yeah. And the fear and
Yeah.
greed index, though, is actually pretty, actually low for that, I would think.
But yeah, there it is. Let me see. But yeah, it's at right about 60%. It's trending down, but you have to realize the ETF, a lot of the money, that's the good thing about the ETF is a lot of money sits there and it's parked there, and they can't sell out of their position until it's open markets, Wall Street hours. So again, until we see this BTC go down like 10%, it's going to stay Bitcoin season, right? But we can see, like you said just about 5 minutes ago, we can see Litecoin has started to go up about 15%, right? 15, 17%. And usually Bitcoin or Dogecoin leads in indicating the alt season. A lot of people always say it's Ethereum. That's not usually the case. It's usually Dogecoin or Litecoin spikes, or some rando altcoin, like Trump coin or another one out there. Usually you have like a dozen or so of them type pop off. And I think one of the other reasons why altcoin season's so delayed is because the football season, a lot of the gambling money stayed in the markets, in the sports betting markets, because
That's
Philadelphia
interesting
is
perspective.
is still there. But what I told, and I just said this the other day to Nick, is on one of my other devices, I have TikTok on there. I don't keep it on any of my important devices. But I've been on TikTok for 6 months. I just do Jesus content on there. But I've been on there for 6 months, and I said, I haven't seen one crypto live stream in 6 months. Last week I saw over 2 dozen. And most of them are XRP, but I can't.
I think it was Nick's brother. Jan was doing that.
Yeah, Jan was one of them.
Inspired has a good comment here, though. He says many argue that meme coins like Doge, Shiba Inu, Pepe, and countless others have significantly impacted or even killed traditional alt seasons by sucking up liquidity. And I would have to agree with that sentiment. Very good.
Yeah, correct. Again, and that's why I don't look at any of those. When people are like, "Oh, what do you think about Pepe or this or that?" I'm like, the market cap's already huge. Like, you'd have to just to double the market cap where it is right now, you'd have to put in X amount of money, and then it would maybe do a 2X if you doubled the market cap. I don't see that happening for most of those altcoins. That's why I only have like 4 or 5 alts. They're all Solana alts, and that's because Solana token economics compared to Ethereum token economics is like, it's like insanity versus, oh, this makes sense. But be careful, right? Again, if you are going to be playing around with any of these meme coins or altcoins, these are not life-saving plays, right? You want to take $100,000 and put it in the Bitcoin. If it's red, yeah, buy some Bitcoin. You want to buy 100K? Sure. Do not buy $100,000 of LIBRA or Trump coin or Melania coin or any one of these other ones. You do not do that. Do not do it. Do not do it. Bitcoin or Litecoin. And obviously, if you're going to do it, the easiest trading pattern I can teach you is, if it's a red candle day, buy some.
Buy it.
Green candle day, do not buy it.
Hodl.
Exactly. Hodl.
It's the opposite. I still think, though, Gerald, I think maybe in the next show that we should do a deeper dive, because I know we're getting short on time, but I'm really excited about U.S. crypto projects. U.S.-backed crypto that are here in the U.S., right? Having a basket, having yourself some exposure to some of those projects, I think is really, really important. Again, which ones? Again, we could probably cover those later on in a different show, but I think that, again, having that basket of U.S. tokens in your portfolio, if you have that risk profile or are so inclined, not financial advice, but would be a pretty good life suggestion. And we can cover some of those, but, Solana, Sui, Litecoin, some of those ones that come to mind.
Yeah, no, again, not a bad idea, because the rumors around, American crypto companies getting some possible leeway when it comes to regulations and possibly tax leeway. This, again, it's not a bad idea to look into this. Just be careful, right? Just always be careful and just heed our warnings, right? I've been doing this for a long time now. I can show you tons of wallets that say 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So if you are going to invest into one of these rare altcoins, $50, $100, a couple $100, that's it, right? You don't put $10,000 into fart coin, right? It's
what?
Yeah.
You mean I made a mistake? Hold on a second. I got to fix this now. I just put a buy order in for. I'm so kidding. You know I'm kidding.
I know you're totally joking. It's like, oh shit. No, not shit coin either. Yeah, don't take a big chunk of money and put it into one of these meme coins. It's not the way to go unless it has a super small supply. Got a really, really small supply.
But you want to just piss away some money. Think of it like going to the casino and you're just going to like put that money and you're never going to see it again. Right.
Yeah.
And if you want to do that, and that's, you know, you have the wealth or the means to do that.
Exactly. If you want to treat it as a slot machine, sure. Yeah. Keep putting in the 20s.
I think the other analogy for me is, and then we can end on this and I'll be done. I think for me, it's like smoking cigarettes, like totally legal to smoke cigarettes and buy cigarettes, and you pay a premium for smoking. You got the taxes on all of that, and that's fine. You can go and buy them. Is it good for you? No. Is it healthy for you? No. Is it the smartest thing to do with your money? No. But you as an individual have the right to choose to do that if you so choose, right? So to me, I look at, you know, meme coins and shit coins in that same way. Is it the smartest thing to do? Is it the healthiest thing to do? Is it the best use of your time, resources, and money? Probably not. But, you know, if you want to smoke Marlboro Reds,
yeah,
smoke Marlboro Red. But there's a no smoking sign right there. So you got to go over there, or you got to go over there, or do it in your own home. You know what I mean? So that's the warning label I would put on meme coins. It's like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing. It's legal, but not the smartest.
Yeah. Could you die? Maybe not, but you could.
Well, you'll die a slow death. I mean, you'll definitely, you look at smoking cigarettes, you'll get cancer, emphysema.
Oh, I was, you know? That's what I was saying about
buy these shit coins. You'll die. You can die.
Yeah. You know. It's a slow death. It's the same thing. It's like, you don't want to go through that. Like, it's painful. But I agree, you know, they're out there. You can do it. If you're going to experiment, just be safe, be careful.
I need a cup of coffee and a smoke now.
And that's all we got for you today. But thank you for being with us. I think, we've gone well past the time today. But thank you so much for spending time. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for the team at Bitcoin Live. Thank you for our sponsors at Quantum Economics, Deorganized Media, Quantum Expeditions, and Shieldfolio. And again, thanks to MattySats. And just be safe out there. I think we're going to see a pump in the next couple of days. Peace.